Okay guys, let's do this. Yo, what's up guys, WQ here. Now guys, make sure to subscribe. This is a big deal. It's a limited time opportunity and it could completely change your life forever. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and also go over to the like button, also like this video. So yeah, I've been actually hiding information from a lot of people regarding this trigger topic, and I've been thinking about it lately and some things developed. I was gonna make a story on it. I was gonna make a video talking about the drama and the hacking, the stealing, the lies. But apparently some things happened underground, and you know what, I decided let's just put my cards on the table. I'll tell you guys what I know that I'm not telling anybody. So part of the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like I was creating a lot of unnecessary drama, and that's actually not my goal. I am good at creating drama, but my goal is actually to not create drama here. Part of the reason I was hiding people's names is because I don't want to brigade or like attack certain people. I know that like it's completely contradictory to how I used to run my channel, but I just gave it a lot of thought over the past year, and I don't really want to call very like lurker people out, especially because I think most of the people involved in this secret Discord group are victims. I don't actually think they are really doing anything. They're not really like the problem. So the person behind all this is actually named Crystal. You've probably heard of Crystal if you used to watch my videos, or if you've ever played Link to the Past. You probably know who Crystal is. Crystal is basically the first legitimate Link to the Past speedrunner, but unfortunately also the most illegitimate Link to the Past speedrunner. So she started playing Link to the Past in 2010, January, I think it was like January 7th or something, and then she picked it up with a friend, two friends of hers actually. One was named Oddity, and he never like thoroughly played the game, but he did task it a lot, and he like figured a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the speedrun strats in the game right now are actually figured out by Oddity. And then there's another guy named Jaden who he was competing with her. They would like rival. He always played on console, and she always played on emulator. And then they played for a while. Now Jaden stopped playing in. He took like many breaks and he stopped playing around 2011. So in 2013 he came back, but she kind of took the reins there, and she pretty much created the like the Past community, and then she also was really networked in on SRL, IRC, and the whole speedrun scene. Very networked in back then, and nobody accused Crystal of cheating for the most part. There were a lot of people did not think her stuff was real. Mainly the people that would consistently accuse of Crystal of cheating and were vocal about it were Sven and our White Goose. And Crystal did not like that, and anybody that accused Crystal of cheating, she would get her friends, namely Jaden, to attack them, criticize them of misogyny specifically, which is kind of why, and I think it was 2 videos ago, I brought up that point about they'll use misogyny against me, because that's generally their point, because Crystal's identity is a female. Nobody knows who Crystal actually is, so it's hard to say if that's true, but that's been their tactic. And actually this goes beyond like the past. Crystal's been doing this for like since about 2005 to 2014, so almost a decade. Crystal's been cheating in games, getting away with it, very clever cheating, and then using her clique, using her friends to brigade and criticize and attack people that are questioning the legitimacy of her runs. Jaden did this to Whack in 2000. I think it was 2010, 2011. They did it against a popular Japanese, and a popular thread on this Japanese 2DX player was criticizing Crystal, saying, is this real? Like, this is legit, ludicrous. Like, Crystal, can you please provide a single shred of evidence that this is real, because it'd be really incredible. And I mean, it can't be that hard to provide, just provide any evidence that it's real, right? So Crystal never did, and instead what happened was a lot of Crystal's friends would just attack this person. So why this is relevant, interesting, and what is trigger? Basically, almost certainly Crystal created this group as a method of revenge, as a means of revenge, and to get back at a few specific people, namely Jaden, our White Goose. I'm guessing me for the same reason, maybe a few other people, who knows. But yeah, that's kind of like specifically what's going on. So a year ago and early this year, I made a series of videos, and I talked very confidently about Crystal's runs are not real. She's lying. She's cheating. She was doxing Jaden at the time. She was threatening him. Apparently, she's been hacking him as well. And I've had reports that other people were being attempted to be hacked as well. And I actually have two-factor authentication on all my logins because I do think Crystal's trying to get into my DMs. So this is actually how Crystal was able to send me her Discord invite link through Jaden's Discord account, because she hacked that account some point in April or May and then sent me the link, probably as a goof or a troll. And then obviously, I got the hell out of there. But when I did go in that group, I did see a lot of people in there. And I think what happened with Cyber Demon in November, or what? Yeah, it was November, right? What happened with Cyber Demon is Crystal is manipulating Cyber Demon and a lot of other people in that group because they are disaffected. And Crystal is very good at manipulating people, and has been doing this stuff for the manipulation's been there for at least a decade and a half. The cheating's only been there for about 9 years. So a few days ago, Jaden went on a Twitter rant against Crystal. He said a lot of things. He was saying stuff like, "You stole $3,000 from me. You were threatening my parents, threatening my parents, threatening to dox my parents, hacked my Facebook, DM'd a lot of my people on Facebook, just random people, said very bad things about him. Apparently was threatening his job position. A lot of very disgusting, bad, immoral things. Also, Crystal was gloating about learning how to hack or hacking, so-called Nazis or whatever, who they labeled R White Goose. Now, this might explain a lot, guys, if you're wondering. So a lot of people like Cheese and Caleb Hart, and I have a lot of random people who are DMing me and saying like, am I a target? And I'm thinking to myself like, there's no way you're a target, like Cheese specifically, because I know he had a lot of heat on him actually with Cyber Demon and Proto. There's almost no way he's a target because I don't think he knows Crystal at all. There's like no crossover there. So I do think Cyber and Proto have their own agenda. I do think both Cyber and Proto are in this group. Cyber obviously, mainly because Cyber Demon was following Crystal on her private Twitter, had 12 followers. So obviously they're networking, they're talking, they're probably in the same Discord. I'm guessing Proto is either in the same Discord or maybe in the same Discord. I have no idea. I actually think Proto is more neutral than Cyber. Cyber's obviously like locked in. Now I do think they both have their own agendas, and that's why I don't really see them as perpetrators here. I do see them more as victims, because I'm almost certain that Crystal's the one that's manipulating this whole situation and using politics as a method to promote her agenda that really has nothing to do with politics at all. A lot of it is revenge. So the problem with Jaden is that Jaden was always Crystal's biggest defender, I mean, for a very long time. And then December 2017, Jaden's the one he came out and said, look, Crystal's runs are fake. I don't know how they're fake. They're 100% fake. They dated for like a year maybe, and he actually met her. And there's video evidence of this, by the way. And then what happened was he randomly came out and said, it's 100% fake. I can guarantee you it's fake. He's like, I don't have evidence. I just know it's fake. There's no way it's real. And he's like, start thinking about it, really think about this stuff. And this is the point where I actually did think about it, because the first time I saw this message in my Discord, I was like, there's no way, that's insane, that's impossible. And then I thought about it for about 3 minutes. I DM'd Jaden. We talked about it a little bit, and I was like, yeah, it's fake. There's absolutely no way anything Crystal does is real. It's just completely nonsense. It's completely ludicrous. It was a very elaborate lie. It's a very well-built and a very elaborate lie over a very long period of time. Crystal's gameplay is completely nonsensical. It's completely absurd. It is completely ludicrous. And I do think Crystal used a significant amount of very simple manipulation tactics and click networking tactics to secure her a good position, or at least an untouchable position for a few years. But unfortunately, there's just no way this stuff is real when you really look at it. And I found a ton of strange behaviors in her runs, and I was 100% convinced like there's no way this stuff is real. And then it seems like 75% of the speedrunning community was like, yeah, it's fake. 25% of them were like, they either don't know or they're, yeah, it's real, or they should like, we should do something more diplomatic. Then there was the whole leaderboard drama, and I said, why are these runs on the leaderboard? You can't prove they're real. It's like, yeah, you can't prove they're fake. Did you guys know if you cheat a run effectively, there's no way to determine that it's fake? It's impossible to tell that it's fake. Most people that runs are determined to be fake. They're just idiots. They're bad at cheating. So there's probably no way to find proof Crystal's runs are fake. But they're just complete nonsense. The biggest problem with Crystal's speedruns was that there was no transparency, and there was no way to prove that they're real either, which is actually pretty big, because a lot of runs you can prove are real, or at least you could justify that they're real. There was nothing for that on Crystal's runs. And some people made a bunch of arguments. Well, yeah, you know, there was these proof calls, there was these rumors, like she'd been playing the game for years. Ultimately, when you look at the data, it's just nonsense. So yeah, this should actually clear up a lot of people if they're worried about, are they going to be targeted? What is the real intentions of this group? Who's in the group? That should help clear that up. Now, the reason I made these videos and the reason I'm talking about this stuff, because this has been going on for a long time, is because Crystal made a threat to poison people at GDQ in April 2017 in the form of a tweet. Nobody really took this seriously at the time for a bunch of different reasons. Now, Crystal is very proficient and familiar with different drugs and how they work. Is a drug lord, almost certainly is getting a lot of people in Crystal's Discord either addicted to drugs, selling them drugs, shipping them drugs. And we're not talking marijuana here, we're talking like harder stuff. And this is almost certainly what's happened. In fact, if you go to Cyber Demon's Twitter and you go to Crystal's Twitter, which I think right now Crystal's Twitter, she changed the name again and it's private, but if you read a lot of those tweets, it's like, we should go on an acid trip, or we should go on a speed trip or something next week. I can't wait. And Cyber Demon's like, yeah, I think it's unfortunate and kind of sad that that's actually happening, because I think a lot of the people in that Discord, they're not necessarily bad people. Now, here's the thing. I've had bad interactions with a lot of these people, namely Cyber Demon and Proto Magical Girl and Crystal, so that's why I do think I'm a target by all of them. Now, the thing is, in the past 2 months or so, I've kind of come to terms with a lot of stuff, and I don't really have negative feelings. Actually, I don't have negative feelings towards any of them. I do think Crystal's a problem. But the thing about this tweet that Crystal made is that it was said, she said it would be interesting if a bunch of Nazis / right-wingers drank poison, like cyanide, and I don't know what the poison was in their drink. Like, that would be interesting, haha. And then this tweet was like, I think it was on her original account, most likely deleted. But yeah, that's actually like pretty deranged. Now here's the problem. Cyber Demon, they brigaded against Goose and Graviton to the GDQ staff, and the GDQ staff pretty much bended over. Now, I'm not saying what Graviton and Goose did was right. What I'm saying is that there's a relationship between Crystal, who's made threats on people's lives, who fall in the same category as Goose and Graviton. There's a relationship between Cyber, Proto, and Crystal. Proto, who's deeply linked with the GDQ staff, and there's a relationship between all of them that you can find on Twitter. And they targeted Goose and Graviton a month before AGDQ. Now, Crystal made this threat a 1.5 years ago, but I didn't really think of much of it back then. But, you come back now to 2018, and it's like, well, that's kind of scary, actually. That's kind of messed up. That's really deranged, and I legitimately would watch out for that, because I really have no clue what the hell is going through Crystal's head. Crystal's a lunatic. Frankly, for the person, it's kind of insane. And I would not put it past it for this person to actually do something that ridiculous or absurd, because yeah, that stuff happens, and Crystal is exactly the person that would do it. Okay, so the reason I'm making this video is because apparently there was actually some arguing or fighting, or there was some discord in Crystal's private clique when they learned from Jaden, because Jaden went on this Twitter rant about how Crystal was doing all these awful things to him. When they learned about that, they were like, wait a minute, that's not cool. I don't think doxing people and like threatening to dox people and threatening to dox their parents and like hacking them. That's not cool. So apparently some of them were not okay with that, and there was some fighting that going on or something. And then also one of their main targets was Goose, and they did get him down. So it's like apparently there's less motivation for them, and there's less means for them to go on these political attacks. So there's a good chance the Trigger arc or saga is over. Now I don't think so. I think we have at least another year of this. But yeah, this is kind of an update video and a truth behind the scenes, what's really happening. Are you scared? Should you be scared? You should know. Whoever's watching this, you should know exactly who we're dealing with, what they're capable of, who they are, and who we're not dealing with. A lot of people have been DMing me and saying, I know Trigger is. It's this subreddit, and my friends are in it. And I'm like, I've never heard of that before in my life. Maybe your friends are in it, but I have no clue who that is. This is primarily a revenge campaign by Crystal on a few specific people. Jaden's one of them. Goose is one of them. Most likely I'm one of them, not really sure. I'm guessing some other people linked to past click. Who knows? But I do think that Crystal is getting disaffected speedrunners and manipulating them to target whoever they don't like, and they're using politics as a means to do this, and they're using GDQ as a means to do this. So I really have no idea. Like, I know Caleb Hart was really like, he took a breather. I know Crystal has dirt on Caleb Hart. If you guys don't know anything about Crystal, she logged virtually every single speedrunner. She sat in their chat. She has literally, and she kept all of his logs, all the chat logs. Basically every single speedrunner for several years, maybe 5 years, and almost certainly she has dirt on Caleb Hart, and also has done a lot of DMing and networking behind the scenes. But yeah, I do think this drama is going to go down a little bit. Like I do think the Trigger arc is, it's definitely not over in my opinion, but it's definitely on the lower. Now again, if you are going to GDQ, even if you are politically leaning on one end, I still would watch out what you drink by certain people or around certain people, because I actually legitimately, like, that's terrifying to think about. Like that is straight up terrorism, and that's kind of why I called them a terrorist, cyber terrorist organization, because that's literally what they're doing. It's literally cyber terrorism, and a lot of these like things are like, we're gonna put you on the list. It's like I mean that could literally be seen as a death threat, and I think it's kind of messed up. And it's like, I don't think Cyberdemon, who was the one who came up with, started tweeting about the list, I don't think Cyberdemon is gonna do that. I don't think that person's really capable of that or is interested in that. And if you are, I pray for you, because that's really wrong. But yeah, I think that I think it's getting better. I think it's gonna get better from here on out. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, guys. Make sure to also like this video and share this video, because I want everybody to know what's really happening here, who we're really dealing with. And also, a lot of people in my first video are commenting, you didn't even read the messages Goose said, disliked. Well, it's nothing to do with Goose's political stance. Like, this has nothing to do with politics. It's also why I made a video on this, because I am very intrinsically related to this whole thing. So anyway, I will see you guys later.